Hi, and welcome back to Fiercely Blessed, powered by Blessed Bananas. I am your host, Nadine Ramos, and I'm here with my beautiful sister and co host, Taina Del Rio. Welcome back, Ty. How are you today?
I'm great, thank you. How are you, my sister?
Today feels like a good day. I feel blessed. And so, what do we have today? Talk to me. What am I in for?
So, today we are going to be diving a little deeper into your life story. We're going to be talking about any fears you might have felt after saying yes to be my caretaker during the young and tender age of 19 years old. What fears did you have about money during this time? And do you have any triggers today in regards to money that takes you back?
It feels so long ago, 19. I'm 43 today, so it really does feel very long ago. But I will say that I remember not worrying. I always had a sense of security, of believing that everything was going to be okay. I
Yes.
didn't have a savings, but I had enough to get by. And there was always this voice inside of me telling me that everything will be okay. I didn't know how. It was a sense of peace and just knowing that I will be okay financially. And I now know that voice was God. And I now know that He was carrying me through. I mean, 19 years old, committed to taking care of you. You were 16. We had bills. We had to pay for rent. We had to pay for electric. We had to pay for food. And I had to pay for your sponsorship for school. It wasn't a hefty amount, but it was still something. There were expenses, and I had to figure out how to make ends meet. The resilience and perseverance in me pushed me to get jobs. Even though they were dead end jobs, I was never happy anywhere I went. Any job I landed, I wouldn't be there for more than 6 months because there was an entrepreneur spirit in me. I just didn't know. I would say to myself, what the heck? Why can't I just stay in these jobs? The boss would tell me what to do and you forget about it. I would catch an attitude and leave. Like, you're not telling me what to do. Like, I was the boss. And man, that was magical. Now that I could say that now, because it's like that wasn't the entrepreneur in me, being that
Hmm.
leader, being that boss, but not realizing it.
Yeah.
But being grateful to the fact that I pushed to get these jobs to make ends meet. Although I wasn't happy, it was the sacrifice that I knew I had to do for us to be all right financially.
I love it. So I know that you adopted a positive mindset. You could have had a negative mindset during this time. And I'm sure there were moments where it was difficult and you felt like, oh my gosh, what am I doing? But where do you think that came from? That positive mindset that you adopted where you knew that everything was going to be okay?
I have to say it's all God, because with all those afflictions and hurt and trials that we went through at such a young age, only God could protect that mindset. And that's what it is. I chose to have a positive mindset and it came pretty natural. I never ever adopted a mindset of a victim mentality. I always frowned upon that. I never wanted to be that person. I did have friends who were that. And I would
Hmm.
remember being turned off, like listening to the complaining all the time. I was
Yeah.
more of a doer. It's actually my love language, where I like the action. And if that's what I like and expect, then that's who I'm going to be. Right. So naturally, it was that already in me, where it's like, think of the positive. It could always be worse. I'm not the only one going through this. There are people who have it much worse than me. All of this is happening for a reason. I
Mm.
know this is going to make sense later. It's those thoughts, it's those voices you tell yourself, and you remind yourself of that. Or the flip side, it's like, I'm never going to get out of this. Why
Yeah.
me? This is not fair. Oh, I hate my life. It's so hard. I mean, come on, which one? I'd rather go with the light. I'd rather go with that positivity. I'd rather push myself through reminding myself and convincing myself that everything is going to be okay. And that all this trial, all these hardships, all the unknowns are for a greater purpose. I'd rather convince myself of that than on that flip side of negativity. And it's how I operate today.
Yeah.
Life is not always peachy. We're going to have these struggles. It's part of the life journey. But it's how you choose to think about it. It's how you choose to wake up and start your day. I'm going to start my day. I already know my plate is heavy, but am I going to start my day saying, oh, my plate is heavy. Oh, when is this going to end? When is this going to get light? And I can start blaming everyone, right? I don't have to write team. Why is my plate so heavy? I don't have to write support at home. My plate is so heavy. Or I can say, Lord Jesus, thank you. Thank you that you carry our heavy loads. Thank you that you choose to make our yoke light. Thank you. And I'm believing in you to get me through this day because I know it's going to be hard, but I choose joy. I choose to
Yes.
believe that today's going to be a good day. And even when those hard moments come, you are going to turn it around for something positive.
And he sure did. He turned it around for
He
something
sure,
positive.
sure did, sister. I remember my lights being turned off. And I'm not sure if you were still living at home at that time, but I was sitting in the dark and it was one of those, and I honestly, it wasn't a moment of fear. It was a moment of like, oh heck no, this is so not happening to me. And it's what am I gonna do, because this cannot happen again. I remember feeling angry at myself, like I let myself down in
Yeah.
that moment of like, how did I let my lights get turned off? How
Hmm.
careless and how irresponsible of me. You must have not been there, because
I
I
don't
would
I
have,
don't remember
I would have
that.
fought harder for that. And I remember having to call your dad, and he Western Unioned me money. Western Union.
There was
He
no
West.
Venmo. There was
There
no
was no
Cash App.
Zelle. Nope. You had to carry your little butt to Western Union, fill out that form, okay, and get your money, and then have to go cash to then go to the Con Ed and have my lights turned back on. That was the whole process. But I remember feeling like I never ever want to have to experience this again, and I will do whatever it takes to not face this again. Like that was a promise to myself that I made. And it's
Yeah.
something I still carry to this day, where it's like, I don't want to live in debt. You know, I'm not that woman. I refuse to have all these credit cards. My business operates very different. And I believe that's what sets us apart, where it's like we don't take on all this debt to grow, to show off. No, we keep reinvesting with what we have, and we make do with what we have. And God just has a way of prosperity. What's the word? Like prospering us
Multiplying
and
and
multiplying.
multiplying.
Yes, and blessing us, because I don't want to do it that way. I choose not to. It's like living within your means. I do business within my means. I made
Hmm.
$5 million last year. I'm not going to spend $5 million or $10 million on the business to grow it. You know, it's the mindset,
Yeah.
right? Did I take it too far? Because I just feel super passionate right now.
No, that's perfect. I love it. Keep it going, girl.
I love you,
But I
sister.
do want to ask one last question. Um, in the midst of all that was going on, looking back now, what would you say your blessings were at that time?
Wow, my blessings, I think first and foremost was the process and going through that process, because all that time I was being defined as a woman of resilience and perseverance, right? I think also being able to be fearless, that was a blessing. Being able to say, hey, you know, I'm taking on the responsibility and commitment and a promise to mommy, and I to take care of you, not knowing how, but doing that. And that was fearlessness, right? And
Yeah.
that's trusting in God. As I mentioned, my lights being turned off really helped me to motivate myself to push harder. And that was a blessing. Again, it's the mindset, victim or seeing the blessing in those trials. And I chose to see the blessings. And then at 19, right, having my fake ID so I could go to the bars and clubs back then. That was a blessing. I kid and I joke, but but with all seriousness, like the blessing was that I didn't give up. The blessing was that I allowed each situation to teach me and to propel me to the next chapters in my life. The blessing was having you as a sister who was praying for me. Even when I didn't hear you praying or see you praying, your prayers saved me. And my blessing overall is my relationship with God. Even back then, even though it wasn't solid, it wasn't strong. Whenever I need him, I called out to him because I knew he was real. And in those hard moments, I was able to cling on to him.
Yes,
And
yes.
so, yeah, those were, I would have to call my blessings that I remember. There were so many, but to pinpoint during that time, 19 years old in my life, really truly learning who I was in those moments, I would say those were my blessings.
I love it. I think you hit the nail on the head. The ultimate blessing is our relationship with God and our mother and grandparents introducing us to Him and creating that foundation at a young age where we always have had that fear of Him and that acknowledgement of Him, knowing that He's there no matter what.
I think ultimately the reason why we do this and we're sharing is because we need you to know that the same God that was there for me at 19 is still here for me at 43. I know I don't look it, but and he's still here for me and he's here for you. And whatever
Yes.
it is that you're going through, specifically financially, because that's what we touched on today, know that he's a God who loves to prosper and loves to bless abundantly. All it
Yes.
takes is for you to say, I want you in my life and do your part in building that relationship. And you will see how things will turn around for you and in your favor. And you don't need to stay in a financial pit or rut that you find yourself in today. So be blessed. Thank you once again for joining us. We love doing what we do. And if you
Yes.
enjoy listening to us, follow us, share it with a friend. We're on YouTube. You can look for us at Fiercely Blessed. We're also on Spotify and on Apple. So make sure you like us, comment, and share. Subscribe, do all that good stuff. Let's keep it going and send us your feedback. God bless you and have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day. Thank you, sister. Love you.
Love you.